Right on. Here we go. Good Wednesday to all of my friends. How cool is that? I'm so happy to have you on. I had a neat experience this morning, so before we get started with fishing, I'll share what I did. I have been getting very active on Discord with the community, and today I sat through my first tackle box session with Jaxie Beard and got to hear and see him in person for the first time. And before even the angler, when I played the hunter 3 or so years back at its start, Jaxie was just a creator, and he was so awesome that my introduction to Jaxie came from his videos. So I'm really pleased to kind of re-meet this experience with him on the angler, albeit a somewhat different forum, obviously, but I'm still very excited to be part of it. Having said all that, we're ready to get started. Let's just make sure our stream is moving along, and it appears to be. So I was doing some neat fishing right here during the tackle box. I was just sitting here on the dock. And I'm going to kind of just demonstrate something that's so neat for early beginner players. Because you'll be able to afford an early rod after you get started. Come out here with your first, non-light rod. In this case, there's a quest you can do to get this stale rod that he'll give you right there in the outpost. Anyways, this stale rod with its quest rod or reel that it gives you, just put a hook on it. Put a 5 on it, put any float. I put some fairly heavy 12, but a red worm, right? Let me just show you just how awesome it is to just, if you're a beginner, you come down here, maybe set that hook down to 3, short cast it just a short distance, that's right click, and just leave it out in front of you. And this is a good time to just sit back and learn the mechanics of how to, catch a fish, obviously. And I'll warn you, these get big. So it's a great way for you to catch a lot of weight and get a lot of XP and level up lures and bait right just seconds from where you start the game at the outpost. So I just kind of want to leave this here for a minute while we wait for salmon to pop. And he should pop, and he should come straight to it. It's kind of a neat way for you to see how big these fish get too. I've caught a lot of silvers, a lot of golds, a lot of bronzes here. Here comes a fish now. This looks like a bronze or a juvenile. It's not a big fish. Get my tension back down to 30. I should be able to hold this fish no problem. So I didn't even really do much, and I can get myself here pretty easily there goes another salmon right under me. And it's just awesome because this is a really prevalent fish right off the outpost. And so this is a neat location for any beginning player. So I just want to share that and make a point that they get a lot bigger than bronze. I'll also warn you that they can get caught up in these pilings that you see all over the place. So it's a little bit perilous. But this whole area is pretty open, and you can do a pretty good job of holding the smaller salmon in here at the price of a worm, right? And get yourself some great XP. And I'll just show you what I did. If we open up my journal real quick and see how my latest catches are, I was watching the tackle box the stream with the rest of the crew while they were fishing. I was trying so hard to get in there and fish with them, and I couldn't. But look how I did on the dock. I was just pulling in salmon after salmon after salmon after salmon, just sitting there with worm. So I really want to encourage you, when you're struggling, to find a location where you know you can get something very easy on bait, because bait casting is easy. You can just sit and wait for your hit, and it's a great way to level your character. And whatever bait that you're using, you can also use spinner and spoon and any other great mechanism to grab salmon from that location as well. So that's today's helpful tip. What time is it? Well, darn it, it's 5:20 in the afternoon. Today in the tackle box, they fished all around the south side of this first island, and I was working with a buddy and found several neat little nooks for me to go fish in. I've got work to do on the handbook. If you take a look at my handbook, I'm a little embarrassed there's only one diamond. But if you look at my handbook in the other reserve, I'm diamond out. And I think the only reason that happened that way, other than that I played GRR first, was that the quest lines in the Golden Ridge Reserve included the like the picture quests, which meant you caught a diamond somewhere or something, right? The whole quest line included catching diamonds. So if you did the quest lines, you would end up with a full diamond book. Whereas I'm almost done with the quest line over here in Norway, and I don't have any other than golds. So you can see, even though I've caught all the fish, I only have the one diamond out of sheer chance. It popped right up next to me where I was fishing for salmon out by the cruise ship that day. That doesn't mean that diamond aren't around. It just means that I haven't, done a bunch of grinding for them yet, and that's obviously to come. So let's go up here to the lodge real quick. I'm kind of expecting I'm going to need to re-gear a little bit. We'll go to the outpost and sit there for a sec while I look at my challenges. I'm pretty sure if we go to the book, my challenges are blank because I didn't start them this week in Norway. I started them in the other reserve. And so before we go any further, I'm going to go over there and we're going to take a peek at what I've got done there. I have a feeling I might need to do a little bass fishing. Oh, look at that. I don't know if there's a better experience as a player. Right? It's already cool enough that they locate me where I was when I logged off. But this reserve is so amazing with the sunset and the sunrise. And you can see that I left myself in just the absolute most massive, lily pod area. And you can see where I am, and those that know this reserve know it well. It's right off the Diamond Peak outpost. And if you just go north of the lodge, it's right past the bridge. In fact, it actually runs past the bridge a little bit, and it runs on both sides of this little inlet area, this short area. You can take a boat up this all the way up. This was where I caught Goldstein. Oh, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks back. Anyways, we're going to fish in here real quick if my challenges need it. And as I look at my final challenges for the week, I need quantity and I need bass. So let's just start here for the day, even though I don't have dailies set up. Maybe what we can do is just say we can kick these forward just so that I can get XP from those two, those three, right? Like I left it at any just so that as I wrap up this weekly, we'll get that XP. See that, how I did that, newbies? All right, so what's in my rod? Look, there we go. You know I leave myself a bass rod always. In case I get frustrated with pulling or jigging or baiting, right? Got a little bit of everything lined up here. You can see how I've been doing it, which is good. So here we go. I've got the popper on, and I'm barely rigged up. 2.5 fluorocarbon. I'll admit, I saw Jaxie's rod today, and he had it set up with super neat optic purple. And when you're fishing with a bunch of people, like I'm sure he always is, it might be nice to see your line. And I think that's really why he's doing that, other than that it looks cool as all get out, right? So I might swap one of these out at some point for equal strength. But you know me, I generally will fish on fluorocarbon. And in real life, I've done most of my life's fishing on 20-pound test. I know a lot of fishermen that swear by it. So, you know, I kind of see myself as old school. Anyways, off the Gold Horn, we've got this sweet little Casio that's taken 4 years to level up. But since we've been doing a lot of bass, it's almost there. And we've got the plopper. So what we're going to do is a bunch of twitching and a bunch of quick pull here in the sunset, right off the main outpost. Should be a pretty little evening. We can cast all the way around this whole area. So without further ado, pull out number 5. Let's set that tension down. The bass hit it pretty hard and instantly. You don't have warning. So if that tension's too high, it's going to snap. First cast. And to make twitching a little easier, I'll admit that I'm using the built-in one again. And I think you can see why. Did you see that first hit? It just about pulled it right through. So I tap these in as I pull them in a little bit. I don't like to leave it full press. A lot of jumping. These are largemouth bass. Oh my gosh, they're so fun. They're a beautiful fish. Look at that. Great XP. XP on the rod, XP on the reel. Not much, but definitely some. It all adds up, and I'm fishing on a plopper that you know works for me. It's a number 5. I swear by 5. It'll catch a lot. So when I'm moving to a lure, I obviously level up 5s first. But those that know me to level up all my lures if I can. Anyways, 1 down in the boat. That felt great, getting it right away like that. We threw that right on top of that. Right on top of that one too. Yeah! It's a good morning. Look at that tension at 15%. Hold that guy. He's still running. And this just feels like the smallest rod on earth. It's basically a grown-up version of the very first rod they give you in the game, for those that don't know. And it's super short, and it's great to fish bass with because it's a short cast. And it's not super strong, but it'll catch a small pike. And it'll definitely catch anything in these lily pads, assuming it's maybe not a gold or a diamond, or, you know, a legendary. But it's not very strong, as you can see, so you got to be very, very careful. So here I am battling it out with probably a pike, right, or something a little bit bigger than a largemouth. And right after this fish, guys, I got to take a quick break. I got to make sure my dogs are okay in my backyard. Oh, this looks so good. I could not be more. Oh, easy now, easy. Whoa! See, man, they could get to the right to you and then they fight again. That's why this little rod is so fun. I highly encourage it. It really makes catching these bass feel like, well, you're catching a heavy fish again for this rod. So you cannot play it too heavy. You'll break it off. So you get a big one on and it might be a while before it comes in. So it's fun, it's super fun. It makes bass fishing not just pulling them right in again, and you'll get way better XP with this. Watch, this is going to be good XP. Same as that previous fish, fought like a demon. Look at that. That's a monster in that water. Look at those teeth, right? It's a little fish. You could certainly use a bigger rod and reel. But the popper takes it and gets XP. Love it. Now, guys, I got to do something real quick. I got to check on my dogs. So I'm going to quickly run to check on my dogs. Alrighty, we have returned, and we're just gonna try and get as much action. Oh, hey there. We're gonna try and get as much action for bass as we can to wrap up that weekly challenge that we got started. I'm using 3x pull. I kind of learned my lesson there to cut that tension down to 15 on the Casio. But we're having just a great time getting action with, look, I can barely pull that in. You guys, this is so fun with this gold horn. It makes it a little scary to reel. If I get a gold on this thing, it's going to be crazy. Look at that. That's an absolutely beautiful bass. 2K, super fun to pull in. And I'm really just fishing this straight out, mostly the same direction. And I'm using 3x pull on the reel and 15% on the tension because they do smack it, as you've seen. Can be scary. See, it's right there in the water, right in front of us. You can see him run in and lunge after it sometimes. It's awesome. But they didn't for that one. So let's fish this side now. Oh, what a fun morning doing bass fishing for us in real life. It's a beautiful sunny mid-morning in Seattle, Washington. Gotta wear sunglasses outside. The gray is gone and the yellow star is bright and true. So I laid grass seed down because we've got 7 days of sun right now. All right, just pulling. It's a popper, a number 5 popper. And if we fish this little edge out, we'll move quickly. I really do want to see if I can get that weekly challenge done. It's kind of tough. Give it up. Oh, he's right there too. A lot of bass jumping, I can see. So what we'll do, since we've got like 5 or 6 now from this spot, let's just run out of here and run up the coast a little bit to another good spot. Look at that. You got so much lily pad you can't cast it out of it. Want to be able to extend your range, right? So that spawn area can be adjusted. Each cast, if you're not being successful, you're moving to where the fish are, assuming your bait's, your lure's working for you. Everybody's got a different feel for this. But when the bite stops, you start wondering, well, what changed? Look how pretty that is. Oh yeah, there we go. Cute little rod. Came in easy, it's a little pikey. He smacked that. A lot of action out here when you consider though, right? Like when we started the, just to kind of share some perspective. Oops, sorry, I don't mean to do that. How have we done in the handbook? Latest catches. We were doing salmon previously, but look at all these bass. We're just cranking them in. Oh, throw me a rod. Thought I had it in my hand and I didn't. I kind of feel like here's a feature idea I'll share. What happens when you lose your plopper because a giant bass just bit it off and broke your line? Why do they give you another bass? Or I mean another lure for free. They should make you go buy one. That's what happens in real life. I don't know. It makes you learn the lesson of proper tension management, and then you get hit by the diamond on the small rod and it rips it out of your hand. I gotta itch my eyes. Oh, allergy season is in full swing, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's run down the side. Alright, let's keep working this a little bit. There's a bass jump right there. I kind of feel like 3 times pull on the reel is a little fast. But not when I sit down and I look at it on the water. You know what else we can do if the bite stays off? What we can do, get out a frog. The popper has always been good for me too. And I admit I'm still looking for that sweet spot that's always going to deliver. I've been out here and not done well. Not afraid to move. Not afraid to put a popper on flat water. I found this neat spot to fish at some point in this reserve. I wish I'd marked it. Where I could sit up high like this and just fish for bass and watch them come after it. But I'm off the bite. So what I want to do now is switch out to a froggy, and what's next after the froggy is going to be a crankbait. But we've got a lot of action in us here. We're just going to have a good time. See if the frog does good for us. It's also a 5. But we're off the bite. We're totally off the bite now. Desperation throw to the center of the river. No one's looking at that bait anymore, or that lure anymore. Okay. Well, let's take a look at our challenge then. How far did we get in on that? Man, I still need a bunch. I need a bunch of bass. I really do. I don't feel comfortable bait fishing for bass though. When we look at what that bass wants to eat, crankbait. You heard me earlier. I said crankbait, frog, and popper. So what's kind of fun about the crankbait on this little rod, if I do that, I'll have to re-rig it, right? Let's make it pull. Oh, I gotta let go of it first. So awkward, sorry. Crankbait. See, it's a 5. It should work. It's full leveled up. And it looks humongous on the 5. Look. It's as big as one of my spokes. It's huge. Anyways, it's fun to throw. It's easy to fish because it just sinks with the reel. 100% constant. Great way to end up with pike, however, that are too big to be caught on this rod. It's possible. Hey, I got somebody on here left me a chat. I'm going to read this out. Hey, regarding the losing of lure when the line breaks. I thought that was how the game worked when I first started playing it, so I bought a bunch of the same size hooks. Brother, oh my gosh. Let me just laugh with you. Let me just laugh with you on that. And I didn't do a good job of knowing that XP had to happen on the hooks and the lures and whatnot, and I would start just fishing with the wrong size hook, and it didn't make sense to me necessarily how big of a hook I would need, and I'm kind of glad for that, and I want to share why. I then had to explore what worked, and I think that exploration alone made the game feel organic, right? I bought small, and as the fish got bigger, I started using bigger lures and started using bigger hooks, right? The one exception I have to this, jigging. I went straight to heavy because I was so, the first deep fishing I did was lake trout, and that meant that I was fishing in Bear Lake, you know, maybe 30 meters deep, 90 feet down. But if you're using a light jig, it still takes a minute and a half for that to get to the bottom, you know, to do a jig. So I kind of learned to just start with the heavy jig hooks, but the small heavy jig hooks are the ones that would take a shad or a grub, right? And that's where I first started my heavy. Hopefully you heard that, Max. I really appreciate your comment. I'm glad I saw it. I know that these are things that we think about when we fish. Now, having said that, let's get back on top of some action. Really hope this this crank will do some action for us now. We'll leave it on 3. So when I first started the game, I fished top so much. I did. I loved bass fishing because it's not something I've done a ton of in my life. And I've followed a number of very famous YouTube bass fishermen that test lures, for example. And those guys, they can cast that thing up with just such purity. It's just so fun to watch them cast, I'll be honest. So this game does a really good job of that. It's kind of fun if we could have maybe some sort of a homing, pointing, this is where your center aim is going to go for this cast. And then there'd be a pullback, push forward mechanism like we're already using to match the strength we want to get at the distance to that point. Right now it's a big unknown. You go for it. Now, that also means you can get good at throwing and not throwing and all that, right? Like, not throwing is hard. You learn to cast hard or not. Well, nothing on the crank yet. We're gonna just throw it anywhere because it's gonna catch pike too. I'll go down to 2 times. Yeah, the little gold hornet can't catch much in terms of distance when casting. I meant to say cast much, cast distance much. There we go. Maybe 25 meters, 75 feet. Is a good long one. Looks like we got a little pike on here. XP in the boat, XP in the boat. See what I mean by the crankbait? It'll catch your pike for you. But it's shown to catch the bass as well. And if my top isn't working, this is what I go to. And it's unfortunately, guys, I just have this weird myth about fishing in dark. I just haven't done much of it. I don't know if it should work or not. Some fish do bite more at night. Catfish. As an example. Alright. Sorry about that. Alright, let's go back to our plopper. Oh, sorry. Sorry, everybody. I really do know how to cast. I do, I promise. Alright, let's twitch. Should I twitch the plopper or just pull the plopper? Hold on a minute. Stop and go, twitch, and constant. That means I'm not, because I can't do stop and go for the life of me. I really wish I could. But I'll twitch. And this did really good for us earlier too. We just fell off the bite. I ordered a second monitor today so that I can manage my stream a little easier. Instead of using my cute little cell phone. Oh, we're just pushing it. Let's just crank it. And we'll start running back down the lily pad stretch just to make sure we're covering a lot of different area with these casts. We're definitely off the bite though. What time is it in game? I'll check right after I reel this in. Man, I can't wait to find a bass fisherman hero that can help me. I'm going all the way down to back where we started instead of fishing back. Alright, we're about where we started. We'll start on that little dock over there again. There's actually another pad over there too we can go to, but we'll start here. Pull a popper across the straight flat water. I'm not afraid to do that. Here, look at that. There goes a pike. See, that's why you fish topside on flat water. For those that don't know what I mean, I'm fishing with a lure that's dragging on top of just the water. You can see it. You know, it's a popper, it's a frog, it's something that's supposed to float. And instead of doing that over the top of the lily pads, I'm doing it over the flatter water here where I can actually see the fish charge the lure and strike it. And that's super fun. So let's do more of that. And again, it's when the bite's off, you can't do it. You know, I don't have any magic to say what works and what doesn't. You got to try it. I'm using a popper because I know that I'm looking for bass, but you just saw that was struck by a pike hard. And there's definitely fish in the water. And that pike came from quite a distance to hit that. And they're fast. It's just like a little dart going through the water. I'll keep going down this way now. You can see that little lure just sitting there on the water coming in slowly. Come on, somebody, get on there. Good times, we're fishing now. My light came on. We're going to go over to that other side now. As soon as I get to this bridge. Man, I'm seeing big fish jump out there. You know what else I wonder sometimes? I'll share something I'm curious about. What bait does the largemouth bass like besides maybe a worm? See, there's the worm right there. And the red worm. Leeches, minnow, grub, shad, tube eggs, basically everything. But if you had to bait fish, what would you use to fish for largemouth bass? You can see I've already caught my diamond. It makes me think I would probably use a worm. But I've got leeches and minnows too. And I'm asking this, right, because, you know, we're over here pulling these now. And hoping that, you know, I can get the popper to drag across, you know, the fish and get a strike. Part of me thinks, well, maybe I might just want to take a break from pulling and, you know, go to a rod that's got, say, a worm on it, like that, my stale, right? And short cast it out into the lily a little bit better than that. Right? I could even put it in the lily pad. And so, what's going to take that worm? Well, probably rainbow trout, possibly channel catfish, possibly bass. No? And if we don't get one right away, we'll switch it right back. But you know how bait fishing goes. You just let it sit. You let it cook in the water. There it goes. There's that. Look at right there. There's our hit. And it looks like a channel catfish. And, you know, hello, I am fishing over by the bridge. Look at the experience. It's quite a bit different reeling that in with the big stale. Yeah, we got what we expected. We got a little, and you'll notice how almost no XP. You know, go to the rod that's going to give you XP. Fish that way. Is what we're trying to do here. See if we can get some bass from underneath the bridge. Awesome. That was a good cast right there. Boy, we're off the bite for the bass for sure. Really struggling to get my quota. Alright, we'll run over to the other side here, and I could obviously get a boat. Got about maybe 15 more minutes in me here for today's quick short stream. Alright, we can fish this whole little line in here. Beautiful. Just come out over here first, under the bridge. We'll pull this again. We've got the popper out. Might be able to see the strike if I could get him to go for it. No one's hungry at night. Everybody's sleeping. Except catfish is my understanding. I don't know, maybe there's others. But it's awesome, man. Oh, look at that! Nice surprise! Looks like a pike. Just a little guy. Yep, a little bit of XP. A little bronzy. So good to see a strike, though. Twerking that little popper all the way in again. We have been twitching it. Thank you, whoever just followed or joined or subscribed. I sure appreciate it. I need more friends for sure, because this game is difficult at times. And man, I've found some very neat places to fish, and I've caught some legends because of my friends. So I'm really looking forward to helping others too. We're grinding it out right now. This is a night bass run. I'm just trying to work my weekly. I feel committed to getting it done because I'm most of the way in. I want to get that XP. And I ordered my second monitor, so it'll be a little easier for me to see alerts that come in when my subscribers and friends and followers do chat, etc. I can't look at my phone and reasonably do a good job of fishing. And I'm using my phone to manage the stream, so you know, it's mostly me fishing until I get that other monitor on. Oh, look at that. This is the perfect place to see a hit because of the way it's lit up. But there's just no fish. No fish, guys. I need more. We're going to see strikes here. If I can get something to take the popper, we're going to see that fish run to the bait if it comes out in the open. Got a nice groove chill on. See, nothing following my bait. I am worried I'm not getting nothing out here. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to Norway. And do what we were doing. You know what I can also do? I should check those. There's still time for me to do challenges here in Norway. I don't believe I have any setups, either not. I can do any 3. Oh my gosh, of course. Any 10 silver, easy. Chubbies, that sounds fun. Have to find the chubs, but I'll do the random innies just to keep it easy. Whew. All right, I did the super easy, right? All the innies on both categories for the daily challenges here in Norway, which means we can fish anywhere. And since we can fish anywhere, we can go to the dock real quick, grab a couple of fish. I'm going to cast right out here by Jonas. See, look, he's got a fish he's just celebrated too. It looks like a salmon. Good for him. He's doing what I'm doing, right? You're just dropping a line. Right out here by the dock. And the salmon strike it in a way you can see it, as I've said previously. A lot of fish this hour. It's been a good little stream, and I'm running out of time today. Look at that, right away. Look at that big salmon coming in. He's gonna bite it. And I'll get my tension up a little. I got a gold here this morning, fishing from this. Wow, that was so awesome. Boy, when they do that in real life, you're cringing because they're trying to spit it out. But yeah, you get bronzes, silvers here. I did get a gold here. Right off with the worm. Great XP. Super easy to get that XP. They come to you. And there seems to be a lot of them in here. And where are we on the map? We are right by the outpost. And I have this little fishing hole here where I fish for salmon that does really well as also. Here comes another biggie. This will be our last fish for today. Looks like a goodie. Looks like a silver. Look at the size of that guy. Let him run. There he goes. Good times. See, you get a little bigger, they're going to run with it. Look at that. Take that tension up. Keep him from running so hard. Got ourselves a little bit of a fish fight for our last fish of the day. I think that's fantastic. So this is a stale rod, the Pure Champion reel, and I think I have about 12-pound monofilament. Coming right at me. It's fishing right at me. It's swimming right at me. Because it's still real strong. Look how hard it's pulling, right? Yet it came in 10 meters. So you got to be ready for that. Glad those hooks aren't barbless. This is nice. This is really nice. Just honing in on reeling in now. This is a really nice fish fight. Got a salmon on. Probably a silver. There goes a little run. A little bit of a run here as we bring him in close. This is awesome. This is a nice little fish fight here at the end of our session today. Look at that. Nice little third run. Good job. Man, that guy's fighting hard. Maybe this is a goldie, guys. Look at that reel, can barely move it. Yeah, this is really sweet. Right off the dock. Come on in, buddy. Come on in. I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Come on in, buddy. Oh, he jumped one last time. Got him. Look at that. That's a humongous silver. And it's so beautifully lit that it deserves... Look at that picture. Ladies and gentlemen, that's imBestefar right there. That's his dream right there. He's done so much of that in real life that if he could have that happen for himself, he'd be there right now. Touches my heart to let this fish go. I cannot wait till they do a level up. Look at that. I can't wait until they have a release animation so that I can feel a little bit of a goosebumps when I let go of a fish, just like I do in real life. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an absolutely fantastic session for a 1 hour session, just fishing off the dock, trying to catch bass today. Got a bunch of salmon today, got a gold earlier. And I just want to share with you how much I appreciate your support. And this is a new thing for me, it's growing. I got my new logo in the upper left-hand corner I designed. I think it's so cute. And, you know, I'm real proud of that I'm able to pull together and do this for you guys. So I hope it's something that you enjoy. And I really appreciate and am grateful for your likes, your subscribes, and your follows. Hey everybody, have a great, peaceful day. You're awesome sauce. Better than ketchup.